Hey, what's up, traders? Trade Like Gates here with Spartan Trades. Okay, so today we took ticker SQ long for about a 40% gain. And recently the team has been telling me, Gates, can you do some video breakdown on charting? And I was like, sure, if you ask, you shall receive. So there's no secret in trading. In this video, I want to break down, exactly what I was able to identify on ticker SQ moment by moment and what led me to alert this in chat. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you get notified when new videos are uploaded. And without further ado, let's get into the screen share and enjoy the video breakdown. To understand why ticker SQ was even on the watch list, we have to go back to the weekly chart. Okay, so let me do that. All right, so the first thing I want to do on the weekly chart is identify where is our support zone. So pretty easy to identify here. We have a support zone from this 55 to 60 area. The next thing I want to identify is what is our trend lines here. So I'm going to draw a trend line across the tops of these candles, and actually I'm just going to draw it all the way down to our support zone around 60. And I can even go ahead and draw a trend line here. Okay, so zooming out, what do we have, right? We've got a big bull pennant right here forming on the weekly chart. Larger time frame patterns are very strong, right? And so what did I see? I see that we're pushing up to the top side of this triangle, and we're starting to break out to the top side of this triangle. All right, this piqued my interest to have this on the watch list for this week. So I move from the weekly chart. You always want to start with the larger time frame and work your way down to the smaller time frames. So let's get into the daily chart. What did I see? The first thing that I noticed is that on a previous earnings call, we had this gap area right here. And oftentimes what stocks like to do is once they move up into this gap area, they like to start to potentially fill the gap. It doesn't always happen, but it is something that traders look for. Okay, so we knew that we had this gap area right here. I'm even going to draw a trend line across it. And you can see we tested this gap area once, twice, and it was the third retest of entering this gap that we decided to put this on the watch list. So we actually traded this yesterday. The long trigger was at 72, so our members caught this from 72 up to 75, and I just knew that with 75 being a natural whole number, a number that is a natural area of resistance in the market, the 75s, the 80s, the 85s, if we were able to get over 75 today, we could possibly see a continuation into filling this gap. Okay, and that's exactly what we saw today. So let's get into the intraday analysis. I'm going to jump to the 5-minute chart here. So right at open, we broke that 75 level, pushed up to the top side. Some of the members took this long right at open for some nice gains. I had my eyes on ticker MDB, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch this first move, but I did start to catch it when it started to pull back. All right, so here's where my intraday analysis begins. I do stress the importance of using multiple time frames, especially when you're charting and even when you're trading. So the 1-minute chart can give you some great insight for entries. Other than that, I really don't use it to exit. So let me show you how my screen looked whenever I called this out in chat. I'm going to pull up the let me pull up the 1-minute chart here. All right. Yeah, so my screen looked, it looked something like this. I had the 1-minute chart pulled up right beside the 5-minute chart, and so I was able to, check these both out at the same time and determine where is a good entry spot. I saw this candle coming down. I want to get in this thing. It's over 75, so I said, okay, 75, 75, 50. Where I need to identify some support. What is the support levels? What can I be looking at for support? Previous day's close is the first thing that I looked at. So we closed under 75. I knew that if we fell below 75, that would totally invalidate the idea of buying at support, because at that point, this would have been a green to red move and likely would have continued down for the rest of the day had we lost the previous day's close. So I said, okay, that's a little low. I don't want to try to enter all the way down here. I don't think it's going to pull back that far. What's the next area of support that I can find? Pre-market high, right? So that's right here at this candle around 75, 14, 75, 12, somewhere around there. And as I drew that line there, look at the 1 minute chart, right? This is exactly where we bounced. So the first thing that I did was I identified our intraday support. The second thing that I wanted to look at was our candlestick formations. So on the 5 minute chart, we have not one, but two hammer candles formed at the bottom of a sell-off. Okay, these hammer candles, they're reversal candles, guys. Both of these candles right here are reversal candles. This tells me that, yeah, the price came down, right? But the bulls were ready to buy it back up. Both times it happened here. So I saw the hammer candle formed at the bottom of a sell-off. It's holding this 75.50 level, which is, it's just a natural area of support and resistance in the stock market. Both candles closed above that level. And then we get this candle. What is this candle signaling? Well, this is our first green candle, and it's an inside candle. It's not a higher or it's not lower than the previous one. This is signaling some consolidation. So when you're looking for a trend reversal, you're looking for, either a run up, consolidate, and sell off, or sell off, consolidate, run up. And so looking at the 1 minute chart, this is where we get into our entries. That's where I saw this consolidation happening, right here. Okay. So just understanding, I identified the support. I saw two reversal hammer candles forming. And then we start to get into this consolidation zone. How do I identify an entry here based off of everything that I'm talking about? Volume, guys. Volume and price action will tell all, right? So we're holding 75.50. You have to be ready to assume the risk. I just figured, this is consolidating long enough. I want to take my entry at the best possible point. I want to wait for confirmation, but I do want to take my entry at the best possible point so that when I enter, I'm immediately green. You don't want to enter somewhere here and go red. You don't want to enter at the top of the candle here and then be red. While this thing bounces around, you want to enter at the best possible point so that when you enter, you're automatically green in the trade. And I use volume, guys, on the 1 minute chart right here to tell me where can I take my entries, right? So I just use a trend line, just a simple trend line. What you want to see is lower volume. You want to see lower volume while the stock is consolidating. And so this lower volume, you can see the trend line, right? We just had lower volume. It's consolidating, and we want to enter when the volume ramps back up, right? So let me delete this so you can see it. And I'll just tighten this up a little bit. Right here, that's where I saw this first volume spike on the 1 minute chart at 7:10. And if I just pull this over to you so you can see here, the timestamp here was 7:09. Okay, so maybe there's a 1 minute time delay or something, but it was on that candle. Said here's the contracts that we're taking. They're at $1 right now off the morning rally and dip, looking for 75.5 to hold as a support. We had a 10% stop loss and a 30% profit margin to the top side. And so, guys, just as soon as we entered here, we were basically green for the entire trade. The only things that I was telling the team, throughout the trade was, once we hit our 10%, we were up 10%. I told them to move the stop loss up to 1 for a break-even trade. Okay, price target 1 from here was 120. So we like to scale out into profits. And what that does is allows you to stay in the trade longer. You can catch the bigger moves, but you're still securing profits to the top side. So we scaled some off right here at 120 for 20%. We scaled another third off right here at 130 for 30%. Each time, we were moving our stop loss up. We moved it up to 110 for a profitable trade, no longer a break-even trade. We moved our stop loss up to 120 for a 20% gain no matter what. Okay, after we hit 30%, and then finally ended this with Yeah, right here. Exiting full position at 140 for 40%. And what was our exit? Why did I decide to exit there? 40% is huge, pretty much. That's the reason I'm taking the trade. 40% is a nice gain. Plus, yeah, I just saw that we didn't really have the volume here coming in to push us higher. I didn't think that we were going to break high of day at this point. And this was fairly early in the morning. So I just saw these candles ramping up, and they're slowing down. Okay, let's go ahead and take profits and get out. That timestamp was right at 7:32. So, yep, right here at, wow, we took it right at the peak. Yep, 7:32. I'll just show you guys. Today at 7:32. Well, I guess if it's a minute off, maybe it was 7:31. 7:31, 7:32. Either way, yeah, guys, and where was that at? Look, 76.50. A nice natural whole number resistance in the stock market. Okay, so we took this from 75.50 up to 76.50 for a 40% gain. We used four things really to identify the trend reversal. We used our support and resistance from our pre-market high. We used our candlestick identification, the two hammer candles at the bottom of a sell-off. We used our consolidation zone to tell us that this is a possible trend reversal. And then we used volume to tell us when to enter. And that's it, guys. That's a full breakdown on this trade. And and actually, let me just show you something here. This is another pattern that I love to trade. Somebody pointed this out earlier in the group. This is if you can name it right now, 10 points. Boom. That's an ascending triangle. I love this pattern in the stock market. It's a series of a series of higher lows being pushed up to one point of resistance. And the idea is that, once you get so tight into this corner that you get some volume coming in and you just break out to the top side of the resistance. This is what we did just now. That pushed us up to 77, came down, tested the top side of the triangle as support. And now we are getting some volume coming in here to take this to the top side. Probably an end-of-day runner here. I'm going to alert this for the team, actually. But that's all I have for SQ, guys. I got to get off and get this trade out there for the team so they can make some more money. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you in chat. Thanks.